Okay, I'm sat in my van, my camper van, in the driveway because I wouldn't be allowed in the house with this little lot, for a pretty good reason as well. Um, yeah, a bit of a long story. Woke up this morning, sort of scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, and I sort of noticed that somebody was selling a stack of records for 60 quid. It was a really blurry picture. And it stated that they weren't providing information about individual records and they just wanted them gone. First come, first served. So this is exactly how they were displayed. So, immediately I kind of noticed Stepping Out by Joe Jackson. That looked pretty interesting. We got the Temptations there, and we got the Supremes. And then there as well, look, you can just see poking out Wheels of Fire. Cream, must be, yes, it could be. And from the blurry photo, I thought, maybe this guy doesn't know what he's got. And yeah, I'm tempted. Let's go for it. So I contacted him, and within an hour, I sort of collected them all from a public pickup place, and kind of rushed home to see what I got. And yeah, it turns out the photograph was a pretty professional photograph, because once you remove the Supremes, once you remove the Stepping Out by Joe Jackson, and once you remove the Temptations, we are left with pretty much charity shop fodder, unfortunately. So those three records were brilliantly strategically placed, because they certainly suckered me in. Notice James Bond here, the greatest hits. I mean, that looks pretty good in itself, but when you look at the vinyl is just a mess, frankly. So yeah, I've got about 200-300 records here that are basically just going to the tip shop tomorrow. They're not even, I wouldn't even take them to a charity shop, because it would just burden them, really. They'd be sorting through and then deciding the same. I mean, you can play charity shop bingo here. You've got Connie Smith, never seen him before. very strange face he has. Belle Ives. What have we got here? Crystal Gale, charity shop bingo. Frank Ifield, charity shop bingo. Connie Francis, bingo. We got The Shadows live at the Paris Olympia, charity shop bingo time. The Edge of Shelley Berman. I mean, I'm not going to go through these one by one. Barbara Streisand. I mean, never seen that before. So yeah, just record after record after record of just the dregs of charity shop existence, basically. Just absolutely awful. I spent 60 quid on these records, and my aim was to kind of recoup the 60 quid either financially or in terms of sentimental value. And I was pretty convinced I was going to achieve that, because, as I say, I was suckered into the three records that were strategically placed on display, and this little cheeky Cream number that was kind of just strategically poking out. So let's have a look at this beautiful Cream album. And have you ever seen this in such pristine condition before? I mean, this is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful condition. Look at that. Just wonderful condition. I mean, let's have a look at the vinyl here. That's just delicious. To be fair, the vinyl is very dirty, but it doesn't look particularly scratched. So I might even try and attempt to clean that up a little bit. It might be better than the copy that I've got, but honestly, I mean, that is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The other boxes are very similar. Let's have a look. What have we got here? Oklahoma. Ever seen that in a charity shop? Carnival. Hello, Dolly. I mean, I was well and truly duped, but this is what happens. You take the risk, and sometimes this is the outcome. You can't always strike gold. You know, I got caught. I lost 60 quid, you know, and I'm going to upload this video because, you know, you can't just celebrate the successes. You've got to celebrate the failures as well, and embrace the failures and learn from them too. You know, I'm lumbered with a van full of just records that I just couldn't possibly listen to and couldn't possibly shift. You know, this is the worst of the worst. You know, it really is. You know, Tom Hall Reflections. Yeah, but once the disappointment, and the disappointment was severe, once the disappointment had subsided a little bit, I did kind of go through again, and I did sort of salvage some, and I think I can make my money back, stroke secure some that have sort of sentimental value that may go into my record collection, or may go into my reserve left record collection, and that's here. So I've got a stack here that I've salvaged, mostly to sell, to try and get my money back. So I've got 3 Julie Felix albums. They tend to go between £5 and £10 each on eBay or Discogs. Probably sell those 3 for £10. They'll probably sit around for a long time. I've seen a lot of articles recently about, you know, checking the value of classical records, because, you know, some do have value, and I've dug out the ones that do have value. Again, there's nothing major here. You know, we're talking £5 to £10 in the solds on eBay. You know, and these are all kind of £5 to £10. This is all over the place. You know, some people are listing this at 60 quid, 65 quid, whereas others are listing it for £10. But that does have some value, and it's in good condition. £5 to £10, £5 to £10. You know, that's not £5 to £10. That's pretty much worth nothing. That's a £15 record. Another £5 to £10 record. The Roaring Twenties. Again, all between 5 and 10, so nothing spectacular. I think this one was worth a little bit more, up to 15 quid, I think. But I'm aware that they're not going to be snapped up immediately. You know, this sort of stuff will sit around on eBay for some time, so I'm not trying to fool myself. I did get a pretty bad deal, and I'm trying to make the best of a very bad deal. But they'll sell eventually. Eventually they will sell, because, you know, I'm basing this on what's actually physically been sold on eBay. That's £5 to £10, but it's not in particularly good condition. That's a £10 record, I think. £7, I think, something like that for this one. That's Elizabeth Schwarzkopf. That is actually a £15 record. Lots of solds for £15. Never heard of her. More Songs You Love. So, yeah. Again, I think it's operatic. It'll sit around for some time. Soundtracks. Song Without End by Franz Liszt. Can. Frank Sinatra soundtrack. Carmen Jones soundtrack, all kind of 5 to 10 quid, all of these soundtracks. Jimmy Young, I think that's a £10 record, good condition. Sorry, I just had to sneeze then. I think I am probably going to get ill from the smells and dust that's emanating from these very dirty old records. Side by Side by Sondheim. That actually goes for about 12 quid, I think it does. It's a double album, so I'll list that. The Way We Were, which is a soundtrack, Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford. We've got Pal Joey, which is another Sinatra film. Tommy Steele, Half a Sixpence. That actually goes for 12 to 15 quid. a Red Ken Russell film with Twiggy, the boyfriend. I think that's sort of like £7-8. And now we come to another stack. So Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I think this is an original, like a first pressing of this kind of soundtrack release. I think it's sort of 10 to 12 quid. Stanley Black, I think that goes pretty well. That one there. That goes for absolutely nothing, but the only reason I picked that up is because of the connotations with the Shaman and Mr. C. I just thought that was quite amusing. No value in it whatsoever. Yeah, more kind of reasonably kind of valuable classical music that I'll list. This one's a folk songs. I think this is a sort of £5 to £10 record. That's got a lot of value to it, but there's not been many sold, and this isn't in particularly great condition. The Lion in Winter, so it's a John Barry soundtrack. Again, £7-8, possibly less. Hey Boy, Hey Girl, similar. Pirates of Penzance, double album, good condition. That tends to be a little bit more popular, possibly £12 for that. I'm beginning to see the light. That's lots of those listed on eBay. Some have sold. The Merrymans Sing, so basically a band that goes to Barbados and have a great time and write an album about it, and even write a booklet. Very odd, but that has sold for about £12, unbelievably. Yeah, again, more classical. Bells Are Ringing. Again, a soundtrack. This is one of the rarer versions of this soundtrack. It goes for about £12. This is a comedy album that goes for about a tenner. Sing Again with the Chipmunks, absolutely bloody awful. £5 to £10, I think. Probably will sit on eBay though for months on end, but it has sold. All of these have sold, physically sold on eBay. Letterman. So now we come to the ones that I may keep. I may wake up tomorrow and decide to just chuck these with the stuff that's going to landfill tomorrow. But yeah, there's another copy of Lion in Winter, which I'm going to keep. That I'm definitely not going to keep. That's I think that was one I marked out for sale. That would no, I'm not. That would just sit on eBay for about 3,000 years. At the drop of a hat, Spoken Word, I believe. Is it Spoken Word? No, it's not. It's on Parlophone. I don't even know what this is. I do know that it does sell sort of £5 to £10. This is the Andrew Sisters, kind of a very old act. Double album of theirs, £5 to £10. That's got some value to it, about £15. Hank Locklin, quite an old record, I think, that one. No, not that old. 66. Well, nearly 60 years old. Bobby Darin seems to have some sort of value on eBay and some sort of like history of sales, so I'm going to just bundle all these up and sell them as one job lot. Got 3 Darin at the Coppers. Don't know why. Who needs 3 Darin at the Coppers? This is Darin. Bobby Darin, Love Sings. Darin at the Copper, 4 copies of it. Bobby Darin, That's All. So I'll probably try and get 12 to 15 quid, or maybe 10 to 15 quid for that selection. Some of these will be given to my dad. I bought him a record player for his birthday, so I was just pulling together a kind of a selection of country records. These Jim Reeves ones I think I'll bundle up and sell. I mean, individually they've got pretty much worthless, but I'll try and get 7-8 quid for the bundle of them on eBay. It's a Spoken Word one there about his life story. Again, these are from a dad. Battle of Britain, you'll enjoy that. Glenn Campbell, which I'll pass to him. Don Williams. So that would have been great. More of the Monkees. I thought, oh great, at least one of the, we've got a few here that are okay. But and it's actually got 2 Monkees records in it. Let's have a look at these. And they basically look like they've been I don't know, they've been used in some sort of a workshop and have been dragged across the floor and grinded with a sander on numerous occasions, so they're absolutely destroyed, and that's why they're sat in there basically. 2 Monkees records, More of the Monkees and the Monkees. Jim Reeves, 12 Songs of Christmas. I tend to collect Christmas albums, so I might include that with a bundle, or I might keep that. It's quite a nice copy. Yeah, one I kind of looked into this one. I thought I'd give that a go. I do like some classical music. That would have been a 50 quid record. That's got a lot of value if it was in sort of good condition, but it's not. I'd say, when I say good, I mean, you know, like pristine condition. This version has got a lot of light scratches on it, so, you know, definitely not 50 quid, possibly a tenner. This sounds pretty nice. Pianist Floyd Kramer. Yeah, just sort of instrumental versions of sort of 60s standards. I think I'll keep that. That was number 1, I believe, in about 50 years ago. This was the number 1 album of the summer. Double album, it's in really nice condition. I think I'll keep that. It's not a lot of value to it, you know, 5-10 quid, but it's quite nice to have. But I think that one, quite pleased with that one actually, which kind of reflects just how desperate this whole collection is. That's the one I'm pleased with. Tammy Wynette, Stand By Your Man. Brenda Lee, kind of rockabilly type album. It's pretty good. It's got some value to it, 10 to 15 quid. Wouldn't usually keep Bacharach because it's just 10 a penny, but this actual album cover is quite stylish, I think, and quite a nice sort of track listing to that, so I'll keep that. Georgie's Zamfir, basically a soundtrack for Picnic at Hanging Rock, a film I particularly enjoy. So, and there's another one of his albums, and I think this is the theme from The Light of Experience. Anne Murray and Glenn Campbell, what a pretty dreadful album cover that really is, and we got it in its black and white glory on the back as well, but you know, has a bit more value than your standard Glenn Campbell album. Not a huge amount of value. Gilbert O'Sullivan himself, you know, not bad, I suppose. Nothing brilliant about that. Might keep it. Tony Christie album in good condition. This is the one that's got the Amarillo song on it. Another classical record that I'm just going to look into. Harmony Revival. I'm sure that is absolutely hideous. And look at that photo. Look at that. Look at that photo. Look at that. That is, you know, the Rolling Stones. That isn't, you know, that's the antithesis of the Rolling Stones. But the reason I might keep it is because I do collect signed records, and that is a signed record. So, novelty factor for me. Peter, Paul and Mary, you know, yeah, I know, scraping the barrel here. Dakota Staton, check that out on Discogs, got quite a nice sound to it actually. Italian guitars, just mellow instrumental. Quite like the cover. Vaughan and Williams, this is a John, I think it's a John Williams, is it? No, it's not John Williams, it is Vaughan Williams. Pastoral Symphony, oh, these are some John Williams ones. Tchaikovsky, Tom T. Hall, that's got some value to it, 15 quid. I think it's kind of like a folky type album. Pure nostalgia, highlights from 21 years of BBC Sport Report. So what have we got here? So we've got events covered, test match, the boat race, Helsinki Olympics, so Stanley Matthews FA Cup medal, England retained the Ashes, yeah, sort of stretching from 1948 to 1969. Just, you know, a bit of memorabilia, no value whatsoever, like a lot of this stuff, including this one. This is one's Burt Bacharach, Lost Horizon. This has got some value to it. Swinging with the Stars, just sort of a jazz album that has got value. I think about 15 quid. Comedy album with Tim Brooke Taylor, John Cleese, David Hatch, whoever he is. Interesting cover. It's a classical record, so I'm going to check that one out. John Williams live double album with Julian Bream. I do quite like John Williams. I do quite find his guitar playing. I just find it quite relaxing to listen to. Absolutely no value, but sometimes it's not always about monetary value. It's just about the pleasure it gives. Schubert, I'm going to check that out. Again, this is another one that's got some value to it, and does sound pretty good from what I've played on through Discogs. Another John Williams with the Eugene Ormandy. Another John Williams double album, Changes, and two for the price of one, The Height Below. And then finally this here, which is the history of blue, the story of the blues, part 2. Had this been in reasonable condition with a cover, it's a double album, this would have had quite a bit of value actually, 15 to 20 quid. The vinyl looks okay. It can be cleaned up despite all the water damage. Obviously the cover's long gone, so I'll clean it up and yeah, probably keep it. Just out of sort of musical historical interest really. But there you go. Mistakes were made today. Mistakes were made. You can't always get what you want, etc, etc. Today I took a risk and the risk totally backfired. I think eventually I will get my money back. There's probably the ones that I've said I'll keep, I certainly won't be keeping all of those, and if I do keep some of them, they probably won't going into my sort of primary kind of record collection. They'll probably be going up in the loft, some of them. I managed to strip a lot of the plastic covers from some of the more awful records and some of the inner sleeves as well. I know I'm scraping the barrel here, but the inner sleeves are pretty nice actually, and will look after some of my more sort of precious records. So if I was being generous, I'd say sort of 5 to 10 quid's worth there. If you were, when I buy my packs of sleeves, plastic sleeves. So yeah, so an interesting pickup to say the least. And as I said, quite happy to upload this and share my failures as well as my successes, and this was definitely a failure, something to learn from. I might be listing this though later on for probably 600 quid, first pressing. It's a great copy, if you want to buy it, just message me, because this is glorious. But yeah, I think hats off to the guy that sold me this stuff, because bit of a genius really. I mean, he fooled me. Maybe I'm easy to fool, but those strategically placed records with this strategically popping out halfway through just gave the impression that this was a collection to get excited about. But he won, I lost, I move on. It was only 60 quid, and ultimately I've had a bit of a laugh going through it. But I hope you've yeah, I just wanted to share my experience with you. So thanks for watching, and hopefully it'll be a more prosperous one next time. Okay, cheers, bye.